I'm going to do the review on the 2020 Chevrolet Malibu LT. But before I start my review, I just want to show one cool exterior design that I really like. The taillights are pretty dope because if you know how a Lamborghini Aventador taillight looks like, then you're gonna think this is a really cool exterior design. So for the first thing that I want to talk about is the engine. So the engine is a 1.5 liter single turbo engine that makes 160 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque, and this car was made to rival Hondas and Toyotas, but they added a turbo, of course, so you get more fuel economy and you get a little bit better boost, because the turbocharger is not made to add power but rather to just add more miles per gallon. And of course the power isn't great, or it's not fast in any way or powerful, because it only uses 1.5 liters of air displacement mixed with fuel. But the funny thing about the torque in this car is it makes 180 pound-feet of torque, so you get 30 more torque than if you buy a Scion FRS or a Subaru BRZ. The LTZ trim, you could actually get a more powerful engine that will make the car actually, I would say, fun, because that one you get it uses 2.0 liter of fuel displacement, for air displacement mixed with fuel, and that gives you 257 horsepower or 267, I forgot. So that actually would be a really fun car to drive for those of you who's trying to buy a Malibu. The miles per gallon in this car is really good. You get 26 miles per gallon in the city, 38 in the highway. And the really good thing about the car tires is that once you go up to speed of 35 miles per hour, then the tires just keep rotating and doesn't slow down like other cars, because other cars, after you go to 35 miles per hour and you don't keep your foot on the throttle, then your car immediately just starts to slow down as it normally would. But this actually takes longer time to slow down, so you use less fuel and you don't have to keep your foot on the throttle as much, so you just save a lot more miles per gallon, especially with that turbocharger. And one really surprising thing about this car's brakes is that it actually is it seems powerful, because compared to the Dodge Charger RT that I drove, it seems almost as good as that. But and from the price point that it is for the type of braking force it uses, it's like an immediate grip that you could feel from the brakes. And even when you accelerate at high speed, or you're in the freeway and you have to do like an emergency brake, then it'll save your life. And these brakes should last, I think, about 40,000 miles. The steering and handling in this car is actually really comfortable, because with the steering is just direct when you turn left or right. But one little bad thing that I don't like about the steering wheel is that it's like loose. As you can see, just a little movement and it just turns left and right too easily because it's not stiff. I wish car manufacturers would switch to electronic steering rather than keeping it hydraulic, because with electronic steering, your steering wheel is just like really stiff and doesn't move at all when you drive, and it takes barely any you could effortlessly drive without the car going left or right and make turns even more easy. And here you get this touchscreen display, like many cars in 2020 that have it, and it's really easy to use. One bad thing about this car is the bass. You can put the bass at max level, but you literally can't hear any part of the bass from the songs. You can only hear 5% of the bass noise, while in other cars in the same price range you could really hear the beat of every song, and it's just that the bass is loud in other cars. Dual climate control, so you can choose your temperature that you want for your side and choose the temperature for your passenger side, so you don't have to have just one temperature, which is a really key and handy feature. One other bad thing about this car is the sun visor, because this thing is very small, as you can see right here. It's very short vertically, so the sun will basically hit you 85% or 75 to 85% of the time, depending on where the sun is, meaning almost all the time that it won't even work when the sun is hitting your face. One other feature of this car that's really cool is that it has an auto start and start and shut off. So when you are at a red light and you have your foot on the brake, your car engine actually automatically turns off, and then it turns back on as soon as you let your foot off the throttle. You can turn off anytime you want with the settings of your car. But it's actually a really good feature to have, because it just saves you even more miles per gallon, because during when if your car was idling and they didn't have the engine started off, then that fuel that wastes when you're idling it's just like wasted, but it gets saved when your car is has the auto stop. And from here you're gonna see an example after this turns green that it doesn't have a wait time for you to start. As soon as you let your brake go right here, it starts immediately, so it's not even annoying. I thought it was gonna be annoying, but it's not annoying at all. One other really great feature of this car that I think is better than even luxury cars too is the side mirrors. I don't know if you can see well, but you can see the shape of it, and the design is that you can see how wide the corners is, and how the shape of it makes the visibility amazing, because it leaves you way less blind spot than other cars, because the corners of other car side mirrors is actually really tiny and not that big, but this car's side mirrors are really big, so you have a less of a chance of crashing. The one other good thing about this car is it has a start. It's a push button start and turn off engines. Unlike Toyotas, even the Toyota highest trim, the XSE, you still need to use a key that you have to put inside for you to turn on the car. But here, all you need to do is just press the button and it'll turn on or off. The one other thing I want to say is the quality of the reverse camera. Absolute garbage, absolute trash.